Another piece here is the strawbales, which of course come. Another piece is the strawbales, which of course come from farms.
We're going to tie this string to this string across the gap.
In this case, we got strawbales from farms.
Can they be doubled up? Would it have the strength if it was doubled?
The straw, of course, is a waste product, agricultural waste product.
So hey man, we're here at Bell's Purple Oasis, and we were building a strawbale greenhouse, as I understand it. And you are, as I understand it, kind of the architect of this project. Is that accurate?
I guess you could say that. Yes.
Yeah. So you've been doing strawbale building for how long now?
It's been about 10 years now.
Okay. And how many structures would you estimate that you've built?
Oh man, a couple dozen.
Oh yeah, cool. And have you ever done a greenhouse before?
Yes, we've done a couple greenhouses. All various designs and sizes and shapes. But
okay.
This is the first one just like this.
I see.
Clay, sand, and straw. It's straw baling. That's basically the three main ingredients for the plasters. So it's all variations in the ratio and how it's mixed together and the consistency, but it's basically the same three materials throughout the whole process.
The heat is starting to stick better finally.
Oh yeah, good.
At first it's just sliming straight down.
Dude, did you ever think that sustainability would be this fun?
I never thought it'd be this messy.
Sustainability is real messy.
But it is fun. This is fun.
We started with a rubble trench foundation. And it was basically you dig a trench, you fill it with stone, and then you're able to stack your sandstone on top of the gravel, basically, footer. And the sandstone allows us to get the bales up off the soil enough that moisture is not an issue.
Sure, okay, so you don't have the moisture then coming up from the ground into them. Okay.
Right, into the bales.
Yeah.
And then the sandstones are covered with a very heavy straw. It's cob is what it's called, but it's basically a earthen plaster that's very heavy on the straw. And that just creates a very structurally sound material that breathes well. It'll take the moisture that's coming up from the ground and wick that moisture out to the air before it actually comes in contact with the bales. So we'll start out with the cob layer, and then we'll start stacking bales.
Okay.
As the bales go up, we'll tie the bales off to each other, and we'll also use bamboo to structurally support or tie the bales off to.
And that'll be right outside of the bales?
That'll be, yes, on the exterior of the bales.
Okay.
And then that bamboo will then be covered with plaster.
Sure,
covered
okay.
up as the plaster goes on. Straw is a great material for insulative factor, but you have issues with water and rodents and insects. So by encapsulating the straw in the clay earthen plasters, clay plasters, that protects the bales.
Sure.
And the advantage over the earthen plasters from, like, say, a concrete stucco is the earthen plasters will breathe. So moisture will move back and forth throughout the plaster. And it'll actually, clay acts as a desiccant, so it absorbs moisture, pulls moisture out of things. So by having the bales coated with the straw, if the moisture was to get too high in the bales, the clay is actually going to pull that moisture out and wick it back out into the air. straw is from outside of Wakeman, south of Wakeman.
Okay.
It's a sixth generation farmer. And they farm about 800 acres of corn, soybeans, and oats. So they have oat straw. They're deconstructing several homes right in the neighborhood.
Okay.
So we were able to get the stones for the foundation from a home that was just being taken down, a couple houses down from the site.
Excellent.
And then I believe the wood for the framing came from just a few blocks away from another home that was being deconstructed. Yeah, the deconstruction process, it's basically, instead of just crunching a house up and landfilling it, you'll go in and you'll pick certain components out and reuse those components. So there's actually a company here in Cleveland that's trying to promote that. So we work with them to get some of the materials. Disconnect.
Cool. Good. So nail that one, and then we measure it off that.
Is if all your rafters aren't exactly on, you have to fasten it on that connector seat. If you don't hit the connector seat, the plastic will disconnect.
Right now they're putting on the polycarbonate panels. And the polycarbonate is a corrugated plastic that allows light to come through, but it helps to diffuse the light so it's not as intense, which is good for a lot of plants. But the other thing that corrugated plastic does, it's got two layers in it with a open space that's filled with air. So it actually insulates. So when we're putting these high insulation walls with the straw bales, we needed to put a high insulation glazing to cover it and improve the performance.
And instead of having a greenhouse, we have a straw bale greenhouse, which I don't want to say it's state of the art because it's actually a structure from our travels through West Africa that indigenous people used many years ago. Even in biblical times, there were these kind of structures that were made by people in the community. So I think it's coming full circle. We've really evolved. Here we are in University Circle in 2009, and we have a straw bale greenhouse. Amazing.
But it forms just these little blocks, and they hold together. And one of the benefits of this is that there's no water being held on the sides. So roots, when they see air, they naturally shy away from it. So you get a much more natural root structure from a soil block than you do from a plastic bed. And you never have to have soil contact with plastic, because who knows what they put in this, right?